Oh, welcome to Lawless Podcast with Justin and Clayton. As always, I'm Clayton. This is my best friend Justin, and we are here to bring it. What are we bringing? The noise, son.
The ruckus.
Bringing the ruckus.
The truth. What else?
Deliverance.
Yeah, hell yeah, we're bringing that deliverance, son.
Bringing what you need right now. Here's something else we're bringing. Straight from Syrinth Labs. Some
Oh,
smelling
yeah.
salts.
Oh,
Smelling
yeah.
salts. See that gorilla on there flexing that bicep?
Yeah, son. Have you been using them yet? Have you tried them?
Every morning. Every morning.
Every morning.
Every morning. Actually, I'm about to surprise you with how good I am at this.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it.
The kids are used to it because I'll just come up to them and say, "Here, smell this," and they're like, "No thanks, Dad. You've already got us a couple times." Except for my man Cash, he'll go ahead and put his sniffer in there, but he knows what's coming.
Yeah, he probably does it for the love of the game.
And even him, he'll put his honker in there, give him one of those, and it slaps his face back just as soon as he gets it. But
By the way,
this.
did you see that video I sent of the kid catching the cat or the alligator?
Hell yeah, I did.
Yeah, dude, that reminds me. I see these videos all the time, and I'm like, oh, that's Cash.
He didn't even blink when it bit him. He just tossed it out there.
Oh, you want me to get... Okay, I'll get rid of it.
Did it get you? Yeah, a little bit. Not too bad, though.
He was about to tame that bad boy.
Watch this. This is a
right,
test
see
of
what
my
you got.
manliness. Woo! That was a good one. I shook it up.
That was... I can't really see... I can't see you sniffing.
You're gonna make me go in for a third time?
yeah, I am. But listen, don't waste the opportunity. Here's what I want to see. Okay, I don't want.
The first one was pungent.
I don't want any of this. I want.
Oh shit! Word?
I want to see. I want to see the magic.
Oh man, you want to hear it? Is what you're saying? That first one got me. What's up, babe?
Where's Cash?
I don't know where Cash is. Don't interrupt my pod. I should have locked the damn door.
Dude, I thought that was going to be your boom boom stick.
No, not yet. I am going to hit you with the double whammy. I got some boom boom sticks that are in my neighborhood, about to be delivered. All right, Lord.
I can tell that it's still impacting you.
That first one hit me hard, and I was just talking about. Look at that. There's a tear coming out of my eye. Right. That first one got me hard. I was just bragging on my manliness. Lord. You got this, Clayton.
You got this.
Holy Spirit, activate.
Call on He-Man. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. That'll get you going.
That'll wake you up.
Do you actually use it for waking up? Do you keep it next to your bed?
No, it sits right by my coffee pot. Lord, I got a damn creek running out of my eyeball now. It sits right next to my coffee pot, and in the morning while I'm getting my vitamins and making me a cup of coffee, that gorilla sitting there flexing at me. I'm like, oh yeah, you think you're
flexing to me?
You talking to me? Huh? It's what? Have you seen those videos with Bernthal or whatever, the guy from The Punisher when he was in The Walking Dead, and he's kind of like the good guy, bad guy. Anyway, it's usually like watching a homeless man yelling at a wall and getting low key fired up.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. You think you're flexing in here? And so I'll rip that cow. I'll go in for quats. I'll go in for quadruples, son. Yeah.
Does that go bad or like lose? Okay. That was just gratuitous. That was just. that was a freebie.
That's for the love of the game.
That's it. Going hard. Yeah, does it lose strength, or do you have to do anything to regenerate the The power
back
of
of
it.
my throat now. Um, there's nothing like a freshly opened, like when you cut the plastic off of one, when you cut yeah, when you cut like the cigarette wrapper off off of a box, peel it out. I wish you could pack it. Whenever you take the cellophane off of it,
Mm-hmm.
you'll get hit with some residuals just doing that. And open it out of the box, it gets stronger and stronger. It's not like that anymore, but in the morning I'll give it one of these. Give it a little. Can you hear that? Is that picking up? That registering?
No, no, it's not.
Sugar.
But I can see you're shaking it. Show me what it looks like inside. Is it a powder or is it crystals?
It looks like a controlled substance.
Okay. Oh dang.
Yeah.
And
If
so
I put that in a little teener bag, you'd take me to Sedgwick County.
yeah,
Yeah.
and say we'll let the lab figure it out.
Yeah.
So it's little crystals, kind of like salt. Is it uniform like salt, or is it more like meth?
Oh, it's more like meth. It's definitely jagged, different sizes. Do not use if you have respiratory conditions such as asthma or emphysema or bitchitis. If you have heart disease, that's yet to be determined. High blood pressure, nope. If you're allergic to ammonia or strong odors.
If you're allergic to smelling salts, do not use.
Yeah. How to use: open cap, hold bottle opening about 10 to 15 centimeters, 4 to 6 inches away from nostrils. I get closer than that. I go in there. Inhale gently. Nah. Do not
Those
place...
are the kid directions. Look for the man directions.
Okay.
Try the other side of the bottle.
It says, do not place directly inside nostrils. Now, that one I'm going to go with.
Don't snort it.
Do not snort this.
Chop it up in a line.
A brief inhalation, 1 to 2 seconds, is sufficient. It is recommended to wait at least 60 minutes between uses. Oh,
Recommended. It's just a recommendation.
not to exceed 10 times in 24 hours. I might exceed 10 times right here on this podcast, son. Keep it going. Get me fired up.
I need to get some. I think though that I would probably keep it next to my bed just for like wake up, take a hit, you're good to go.
Now, that's not going to be good for your dream journal. If you want if you want to wake up and immediately journal down what you were dreaming, do not hit the smelling salts because I feel like that'll fry. That'll fry the top. Have you ever taken a lighter to a worn sock? Maybe this is just pyro kids. We used to do this at the home, at the group home I used to live at. Someone would come up with a lighter, contraband, and see if I can do it on one of these. Oh, I don't know if these have been. And you get the fuzzies. You get the fuzzies on the sock. Boy, they light like a wildfire. It's just a little. Oh no, you can't see it. I can tell the camera didn't pick that up. But it's like it's a blanket of flame that just goes whoosh over the top of the sock, burning off all the lint and the fuzzies.
No, I've never heard of that.
Oh, we should try that. If you're wearing a pair of socks all day, go home and take a lighter and just put that on there. It'll burn through there. That's what I feel like smelling salts does to the hair of your brain, to the little hairs that are growing on top of the pink matter.
I can see that.
Yeah.
And your nasal passages and your throat and basically your whole sinus system.
That's not like sniffing meth, is it? I mean, it's
never sniffed meth.
Like, yeah, I mean, that's true.
But I will tell you what it going back to the smelling salts, what it reminds me of is that time that when I was undercover, and I still don't know what it was. Like, I don't know what happened, but I bought some I bought some heroin.
I've been telling this story recently
Yeah.
to my friends. Yeah, at work.
Well, I bought some heroin undercover, and the lady that was the unwitting, the one that introduced me to the seller, had warned me, "Hey, just be careful. This guy uses fentanyl. Like people overdose with it. Use less than you normally use." And I was like, "Okay, bet." And I bought the dope, got back to the courthouse, and was packaging it. And I wish I had something that resembled a little baggie. I don't. But I opened the baggie, and like you described when you open the cellophane of the smelling salts, it was like, phew, dang, like that was pungent. No worries, whatever. Keep
What
packaging.
did it smell like? I mean, what was that smell?
It was a very strong ammonia type smell.
Oh, yeah.
And heroin back in the day, back before fentanyl, when we used to train with it with the dogs, like I knew what heroin smelled like. Like you would just
Smelled like vinegar?
very very much like vinegar. And we just routinely would smell the packages. It's just like I know what cocaine smells like, and that kind of stuff. not too well, but I was like, "Ooh, man, there's something different about this." Probably 45 seconds later, I told my boss, my sergeant, "I don't mean to alarm you, but I'm not feeling very well." And I guess I was just talking like really slow, and my eyes were all jacked up. And he ended up calling an ambulance, and I was like, I don't need an ambulance. That's a little bit overkill. EMS showed up. They were talking to me, and while I was talking to him, I realized that I wasn't breathing. Like I was having to focus on breathing.
Force yourself to
I was
breathe.
having to force myself to breathe. So they ended up taking me to the hospital, and it didn't dawn on me at first that the doctor was kind of treating me like a piece of shit. Like he was kind of like he's kind of an asshole. Well, he didn't understand. Like he didn't get the message that I was an undercover cop. He was treating me like just some kind of junkie off the street. Once he realized that I was undercover, he had a little bit of a different tune. But we never did figure out. We never did figure out what it was. It looked different. It was. It had like brown flecks in it. It almost looked like if you're looking at the live end of a cigarette. You've got the tan and brown and just like the ribbons of tobacco. That's what it looked like. But we tested it and came back as heroin. That didn't test for fentanyl.
Huh.
So I don't know.
Maybe it was just the packaging. Maybe
they sold me some smelling salts.
Who was it? Who was that football player? I guess it's public knowledge. Who was that football player? He's a Dallas Cowboy. He kept coming in and out of Sedgwick County Jail. He was a Wichita native.
Randall?
Yeah.
Joseph Randall?
Something. Yeah, maybe. Man, all the real football fans out there are like, "You don't know this guy?" Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I saw him pass through a couple times, but I guess that was his bugaboo was the bath salts.
Really?
Yeah, he liked he liked the bath salts.
You don't really hear too much about bath salts anymore these days.
Yeah.
I guess I guess maybe they're just not selling them, but
weren't bath salts it was Flocka. The bath salts mixed with something that made that homeless man eat another person's face in Florida.
I feel like, and maybe it was just one, and really all it takes is one. But I feel like I remember that being a thing. Like,
oh yeah,
like it would cause people to eat other people's faces or
that. And there was another one that was like Flocka adjacent or smell or bath salts adjacent that they were calling Gator, and it was making people get gator skin, like alligator scales.
Yeah, that was weird stuff. I'm glad that has kind of died down a little bit.
Oh, thank the Lord.
Yes.
Hey here. Let's pause just one minute. I got a package to go open up.
Oh boy.
Here, I'll be right back. Are we still live?
We're still alive. What you got?
Boom boom nasal. Now I got a oh, go ahead.
I'm afraid that this is going to be really ineffective for you compared to smelling salts.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I kind of got that feel just because whenever I was real excited to open up the box, and Allie's like, "What are you looking for?" I was like, "Boom boom sticks." She's like, "Oh, I've done boom boom sticks. I love boom boom sticks." I'm like, "Huh? You've done
No,
boom?"
no, no, no. Boom boom sticks.
Not whatever Chinese knockoff. She's like, "Yeah, boom boom. My friend does them. I do them all the time." I'm like, "Oh,
Okay.
Well, I got the variety pack, which had mint, winter mint, green mint, like three different mints, and then a tropical floral one. And so I just grabbed regular old mint. And it might, there's no warnings on this, so I can already tell it's not.
Yeah, brother. If it doesn't have warnings,
I
pretty
don't know.
serious warnings, I'm not that interested.
I can tell my lungs are still tickling from all that, from all the smelling salts.
Tickling or spazzing.
Okay. I can get behind this. It has kind of like a vape, Vicks vapor
Yeah.
rub.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I would describe mine.
Okay.
Except I don't have the actual boom boom stick. Mine just says nasal stick.
Yours is like bang bang,
Yeah, exactly.
bam bam stick.
Yeah. Um and this is supposed to be lavender, but I'll be honest, it pretty much I think they're all just Vapo Rub.
Yeah. Vicks. Okay. That's good. I'll take it. I'll probably keep
That's
that in my pocket
yeah,
during the day.
that's a little more socially acceptable to whip that out rather than a jar of smelling salts.
You don't know the type of people I work with.
That's true. That's true. What'd you get into this weekend?
Oh, nothing too exciting. I Friday we got off. Oh, Friday I stayed at the house and yeah, Friday I stayed at the house and just had a night with the family. And it was fine. I'm saying it like I'm dreading. There was there was there was an argument that came up in our house, and it was like all arguments. It was over the dumbest thing, but just like one person couldn't let it go, and then another person couldn't let it go, and then I felt like I had to step in like, enough, blah 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 blah, and they're like, okay, geez, but why can't you let it go? I am letting it go. You don't see how much I'm letting it go, and it ended up just it was a sour night all around.
Yeah.
But that was Friday. Saturday was kind of some makeup time. Um, of course, separation, whatever time. It was all silly. All arguments are silly, but it was silly. Everyone got over it. Um, we ended up going out to a friend from work invited me, Ashley, and the kids out to a karaoke bar and a bar and grill. And I love a good karaoke night.
I know you do. And I love you loving a good karaoke night.
I got a couple in my back pocket that I'll always go to. Blame
What
it all on my roots. I showed
okay.
up in boots. Yeah, friends in
What
low
are,
places.
okay. Yeah, I was
What
gonna
are you?
ask what are your like if you really need to knock it out of the park, you
Oh,
gotta establish your dominance. You gotta show them who.
I got a
Who's
barn
who's
burner.
running this? Who's running this karaoke night? What are you singing?
Well, I guess I got two barn burners. It's is friends in low places, but the one that'll shut it down, the encore, is family tradition. by Hank Jr.
Okay.
Get on me, wanna know, Hank, why do you drink to get drunk? If you can get to the crowd involvement, I feel like I could crowd surf. I feel like I could lay back and everyone would just carry me on their hands. Why do you roll, smoke, get high? Why must you?
Can
Yeah.
we just real quick, just remind people, just harken back to the time that you sang the sweater song at
That was one of our first episodes.
it
Why did
was.
that? Yeah.
It was one of the first.
Yeah. There was you want me to tell the story?
Yeah, tell the whole story. We may have some
Okay.
new listeners by now.
Yeah, we for sure do. I was new to the road. I had worked in the jail for about a year and went through the road academy and was after you so said or at the sheriff's office. After you graduate from the academy, you spend 3 months, 3.5 months um, under some senior field training deputies, FTDs. You're under some field training deputies, and I had a wild FTD time. Like my first week, I arrested someone in the cartel. There was a fatal accident, a couple fatal accidents, but one guy died while I was like holding his head, trying to hold his airway open, wait for fire to get there. He stopped gurgling as I was trying to hold his head up. And my FTD was like, hey, I guess you can stop doing that now. I was like, oh, geez. So I had a wild FTD time, but like within my first month off of FTD, they gave me the blessing. Oh, well, this isn't going to be too wild of a story for the listeners, but my last week of FTD, whenever you're in your observation phase, um, okay, my first week of FTD, I'm asking my FTD, my field training deputy, like how everything's going to go and yada yada. Like what do I have to expect?
What shift was this?
Second shift.
Okay. Oh, because you were assigned to second shift for a while, weren't you?
Well, I ended my career on second shift, but I started and ended my FTD phase on second shift. I feel like I kind of should have been a second shift deputy, maybe in some ways, maybe not. I don't know. I still think third shift is the hero shift. That's where all the real crime fighters are.
Absolutely.
But second shift is the workers. Like second shift is the hero shift. Second shift is where you go to put in some work. Like when you punch in and punch out, that second shift. I asked my second shift deputy the first week, I'm like, what do I have to expect through this whole process? And he's telling me, and then he tells me about observation phase, which is the last week where is it a week or is it more than a week? I think it's a week.
Well, I think there's two parts to it. I think no, maybe it is just a week where they're just like
They're
right along.
totally hands off. And so he told me, he's like, I'm going to be wearing civilian clothes. I'm not going to get involved in anything that you have to do. Like, you're not even going to see me. He says these words, you're not even going to see me. And so earnestly, like without sarcasm, I asked the question, are you going to be like driving an unmarked car or something? Or are you not going to be with me? And he looks at me and goes, yeah. He thinks I'm asking a sarcastic question, so he's giving me a sarcastic answer. I'm asking him an earnest question, like, "Are you not going to be with me?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm not going to be with you." So my last week on Monday, I'm starting off my observation phase. Um, we get done with the squad meeting, and we're going out to go. I'm going out. I already got the car ready. And he was like, hey, go pull up the car. I go out there and pull up the car to the awning. And then I remember him saying, oh, he's going to be in an unmarked car. Because the squad leader said, pulled him back for a second and said, hey, hold up. I need to talk to you about something. So he sends me out to go get the car. I get the car and pull it up. And then when I pull up, I'm thinking, oh, that's right. He's going to be in an unmarked. He's not even going to be with me. I'm not even going to see him this whole time. So I go 10-8. I go right.
I'd never heard this story.
Yeah, they tell it in the academy of. There's a couple stories about me they tell you what not to do. So I go out and start stopping cars. Like I'm pulling over cars, and I'm still not supposed to be released on my own. And I'm supposed to have a senior deputy with me, but I think he's just somewhere around.
He's somewhere. He's close. He's watching over me.
And so like I go out stopping cars and like stopped a couple cars, and all of a sudden my phone is blowing up and it's him. He's like, "Where are you?" I'm like, "I'm on West Kellogg stopping cars, homie." And he's like, "You need to come back to the squad room right now." So I go pick him up. Anyway, this is after that phase. Like I'm a month on my own. I'm on third shift. We get told for a couple weeks out leading up to this that Wichita is going to have their own Burning Man festival, and that it's going to be out in a field up on at the band camp up on North Ridge. I hope I can say all this. There's not, I mean, whatever. They advertised it.
I mean, I'm not even sure. I'm not familiar with that place. So
Yeah. It's a venue up there. I think I've been to a couple like wedding receptions up there since then. But it's a big field. Oh no, they have church camps. My church I used to go to out in Wichita, they had a vacation Bible school out there. Anyway, it's going to be at the band camp up on North Ridge. Um, and there's going to be an effigy, and they said expect a lot of people taking psychedelics and a lot of controlled substances and yada yada. And thinking, oh, cool, no worries. Like I said, we hear about this a couple weeks going out to it. I think I'm on second or I'm on two beat. I'm on two beat this night. Um, we get called to go do a welfare or not a welfare check, just kind of walk around.
hmm
And so me, Jackie, and a couple other or yeah, a couple other deputies go out there. Some nerds, and me and Jackie are the only two cool kids out there, and some other nerds that are with us. Got real sticklers for the rules types.
yeah,
Um, we go out there and walk around, and there's just a cloud of skunk weed in the air. Like you just walk into like it's almost like you walk into Stranger Things. Like you walk into the Upside Down, and it's just whoosh, the weed smell. And like there's tents. It's muddy. It had been raining all week.
I'm sure I've asked this before, but I don't remember roughly how many people would you say were there?
I don't know. Definitely more than like oh it I might be exaggerating in my head now, but like there were hundreds of tents out there. Like
Okay,
there were hundreds of tents out there and hundreds of cars parked in the like the gate out there. I'd say there had to be over like close to 1,000 people there.
okay,
Um, and there's a couple different stages or like and you hear music coming from multiple areas all around. Um, we get to this one area where there's a karaoke stage, and one of the guy who's working the DJ booth jokingly asks like, "Do one of you guys want to sing karaoke?" And I look around and everyone's like they're not even acknowledging this guy just asked us a question. And I'm
you're
like,
like looking to see like, can I go?
Anybody, is anyone, I'm the low man on the totem pole here. I don't
Right,
want to step on
you're
anyone's shoe. And they're not even like they're not even making eye contact with this guy. So I was like, you got any Weezer in there? And he was like, hell yeah, I do. So he's like, how about the sweaters? I say, how about the sweater song? And he was like, coming right on up. So 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 I grabbed the mic and I belt out the sweater song by Weezer. And I got my eyes closed when I'm singing it. Say it ain't so. Oh, oh. And when I get done, they're like, "You cannot do that. What did you do? Blah, blah. Like you're setting a wrong blah blah blah." And I'm like, "Okay, my bad. Jeez." But yeah, yeah, I
Yeah,
sang at a Burning Man festival. Yeah. Oh, and he was really receptive. The DJ was like, "Dude, that's awesome. I would never expect you to actually do that." I'm like, "Yeah, dude.
yeah.
I
Neither would
want
they.
Look how pissed they are." That kind of describes my career at the sheriff's office.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and I was gonna preface this, and honestly, that's not bad at all. Let alone as bad as it could have been.
Yeah.
But I wonder if this event had happened maybe 6 months in, or maybe not, maybe a year in, if they maybe wouldn't have put you on a different side of the county that night. Like in hindsight, if they would have been like, "There's a what?" Yeah, let's have Clayton. Let's put him down on 4 beat. Let's just kind of remove the problem before it happens.
I would have seen that come up on the board of like they're doing a check at the Burning Man Festival. I'm like, man, I wish I was there. I would kill the sweater song
Right?
tonight.
Yeah. Have you always been a karaoke guy? What was your first karaoke experience?
My real first karaoke experience was hearing someone sing. I was in the Navy. It was in the Sandbox, which is the name they affectionately gave this big patch of desert where everyone who comes off of an aircraft carrier in Dubai, and yeah, the United Arab Emirates, whenever we visit the United Arab Emirates, UAE, there's this big, I don't know, couple miles square recreation area that they call the Sandbox. There's Burger Kings and Pizza Huts and like there's a bazaar out there. Everyone comes in to sell you hookah pipes and curved knives and everything. I still have a tiger blanket that I bought from that bazaar in 2004 on this deployment. But every night there kind of the same thing there. There's a couple of different like entertainment areas there. There's like a hip hop area. There's a Latin soul area where people are salsa dancing, and there's a rock stage. And at the country area where I was parked at, there was it was karaoke night. And so I am I'm 19 years old. Go ahead.
Are are these so on the other stages? Are they just playing music? Are there live bands? And if there are live bands, are they nationals singing
So
hip hop?
at the hip hop area was like a DJ area. It was like a kind of a club area, the hip
Okay.
hop area. The salsa area or the Latin area was kind of the same thing. It was like next to hip hop. It was hip hop adjacent, but it was two different areas. The rock place had a Filipino rock band
Oh
and
yeah,
they were burning it down.
yeah.
Like
I
I
can, I
was over
can.
there quite a bit.
Yeah.
I was kind of bouncing back and forth. In the country area where they were doing karaoke, there, I can't even tell you who sang it, but I remember just being mesmerized by the crowd involvement, the call and answer. I mean, it felt like church, except I was slamming Bud Heavies, and mind you, I had just like a year and a half earlier. I not even a year and a half, maybe just like a year earlier. I was a staunch good kid. I was a Bible toting, tell you how you're sinning, tell you how you're failing. I've always been me. So like it was me just with doing that. Like I
Yeah.
would still go for the shock value jokes and whatnot, and still kind of push the envelope. But I was literally telling adults how they were sinning. Like when I was doing that when I was 15 and 16, like telling other house parents of like, hey, I know that you're doing this and the Lord sees you doing this, and like doing it with full conviction.
Yeah.
Go from that to that's when I'm 17, 18. Now I'm 19. I'm on deployment. I'm slamming Bud Heavies, burning through Marlboro Reds. I've just embraced like all gas, no brakes. I just went as far down as I could. I remember slamming Bud Heavies, burning Marlboro Reds, and hearing someone sing "Family Tradition." And it was that line, "Why do you drink?" And the whole crowd goes, "To get drunk." And I was like, "Oh, is that why we do it?"
All of a sudden, the sky parted and the angels start singing, and you're
Yeah,
like, "Lord, I received my call."
Yes. Oh, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Why do you roll smoke to get high? I'm like, what? Yeah. Why must you live out the songs that you wrote to get laid? I'm like, oh shit. It's all making sense. That was my first karaoke experience, was in the Sandbox in Dubai. Well, it wasn't in Dubai. We were going to Dubai. This was in the United Arab Emirates, but Dubai was the big city. We were just parked outside of Dubai in the Sandbox. Dubai and Jabal Ali. Jabal Ali, which is means the mountain of God, was the other big city. They had some cool stuff there. They were they were building an indoor ski slope when we were there, and it was the craziest thing you've ever heard of. Like they're bringing skiing to the desert, and I'm like, no way they're
Is
gonna
this
do it.
is this only service members that go to these places, or is it something that the locals would go to also?
The locals go to it. Like this is an attraction of the world. The Sandbox is just for service members.
Okay.
They kind of have a similar thing going on in Bahrain, and I love Bahrain. But there is a street called American Alley, and that's just where, I mean, it's right outside of the base. And that's where like these bars, Davy Crockett's, and these other bars that are out there. But it's just Americans that go there because, oh, Dubai also has the Irish Village, kind of the same thing. It's just foreigners and Americans go there. In these places are theocracies. They're religious governments. They're
Okay.
supposed to be ruled by Sharia law. And in Sharia law, alcohol is strictly forbidden. But with the foreigners, they're allowed to sell it. And so, like in the Irish Village in Dubai or American Alley in Bahrain, you go there and they cater to you.
I mean, if you're going to hell, like whatever,
Might as well.
you might as well make some money off of it.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Isn't that weird? I was gonna go off on a there's other things that struck me about usury, that's the sin of usury, how charging people interest at all was first part of usury. Charging any interest, making money with money was considered to be like that was somehow what was part of usury. um Charging people too high rent, charging people whatever. um there is a religion that I've heard that is like specified in one of their holy books that says it's a sin if we do it for ourselves, but it's not a sin if you do it for the others. And the word that they use for others, they're like, it's okay if you do it to them because they're like
Fuck,
cattle anyway.
fuck them.
Fuck them.
And the Lord said, "Fuck them."
Fuck them. Yeah, yeah, yeah. There's lots of neat exemptions to that in every religion, I guess.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess I can probably imagine that you've never been a person that would have been shy or embarrassed to do karaoke. It's just a matter of like having the opportunity.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Okay.
Once it was presented, like you said, it was like a calling, like, oh, this is acceptable to do?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now it's in your toolbox.
Now it's in there. To get through all that, this Saturday, we my a coworker invited me to go sing or he didn't invite me to go sing. He said, "Hey, we're going to this bar and grill, and you and your family are welcome to come." He said there's gonna be karaoke there.
That's implied.
That's
That's implied.
implied.
If he knows there's karaoke and he knows you, he's low key asking you to do it.
Well, I gotta paint the picture just a wee bit. My friends from work are still getting to know me. They don't really know the whole me yet.
Okay.
I know I've been a lot sometimes in the past, so I'm really giving them baby sips, baby spoonfuls here and
Okay.
there. But they're getting there. Some of them. This is yeah, this particular guy. I had mentioned to him that I like karaoke before, And so, like when we were going there, he was like, "Hey, you gonna sing? You gonna sing? You gonna sing?" And I was like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe that's why I was telling you earlier, I wasn't really feeling it. When we got there, I was like, the vibe just wasn't quite right in order for me to go grab the mic and start hitting it. And thinking about it, it might be because I'm trying to protect that image, or not
Mm.
protect the image, but
Just not pull the curtain back that much.
yeah, I'm not afraid to show them the whole me yet, just quite yet.
Yeah.
But also another thing that made me a little apprehensive was the lady who was running it, which I found out was my buddy's mom. She had a metal can, a metal bucket that was marked for tips, and I didn't bring any cash with me. And I was like, "Oh, I don't know. I didn't bring any money for tips." He was like, "Oh, no, most people don't tip. It's okay." Well, I believe if you're gonna go sing, you should throw a couple, one or two bones into the jar. At least, pay her for their trouble.
Per song?
Uh, it depends. If I drop a five in there, I believe I can get two songs out of a five ski. I
Okay.
can at least get two. If I drop a 10 or a 20, I'm
You're,
covered.
yeah, you've got a whole set list
I'm
at that
covered.
point.
Okay. If I drop a 10 or a 20, I'm coming back. I'm marking down a few songs on here. But I didn't bring any cash, and so I was like, no, just wasn't quite feeling it. And then the food came, and I got to eating, and just yeah. When I ended up going to a karaoke bar, it's kind of a sign that I'm slowing down in my old age. I went to a karaoke bar and didn't sing karaoke.
Well, you're going to have to add All My Rowdy Friends Have Settled Down
Woo! All
to your.
my rowdy friends. Yeah, yeah, dude. That song, it's like looking in a mirror. Catches up with us all. What about you? Did you get into anything this weekend?
Yeah, it was. I took my son and his friends fishing. That was a pretty good time. Didn't catch anything. But I'll be honest with you, man. I'm kind of at a stage in my life where I'm not trying to smell like fish for 3 days.
Yeah.
And
Well, you've never been. You like going fishing, not necessarily catching fish.
so the whole thing is, I'm not even though I was just fishing before I came in here. I set an alarm to make sure that I was done in time, and I caught
really?
two catfish. Um,
You let
But-
them go though. You didn't keep them.
Yeah, so and that's the point that I'm getting at. So I do not like eating fish. It's gross. I'll just not eat. Like I would rather not eat than eat fish. So I'm like, I'm not a big fan of killing worms or like causing them pain. And my dad told me, or somebody told me, and I believed it for a long time, that they can't feel anything.
That sounds like a mighty convenient thing to say.
Yeah, kind of going back to the escape clauses in religions.
Yeah.
It was I had the impression, they can't feel anything; they're just worms. Well, at some point, I started to like process. Well, then why do they squirm so violently
They squirm.
when I run this hook through them? So I'm like, I don't really like killing a worm just to hurt a fish that I'm not even gonna. Like, it's fun to reel them in, but I'm not going to eat them or anything. So it just seems kind of problematic, I still do it occasionally. But anyway, so the boys came
Pretty
over.
often, it sounds like.
I go in spurts.
Yeah.
Like, I'll probably go again tomorrow. Boys came over, didn't catch anything, so they were playing football for most of the evening. Made a bunch of hot dogs on the grill. It was a good time. Took them all back, and then went to a friend's house that I actually grew up with. I grew up with her, and she got married probably 25 years ago now. Yeah, it was early 2000s. And so I knew him for a long time. I hadn't seen either of them in probably 15 years or more.
Oh, wow.
And I reached out to one on Facebook, and we had lunch, and then went to their house for bonfire. It was good, a lot of fun.
Nice.
Then last night I had a football match on the pitch.
Oh, on the pitch. Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
I went. I went
didn't
to a
score any.
football match yesterday.
Oh, did you?
You didn't score.
For Ali, Ali or Cash?
Cash.
Yeah.
Cash. Dude, his team just waylays every single other team that's in his league. They just like run the score up.
Yeah.
And it's one of these leagues where like there's not a score displayed. No one's keeping score.
Like upward, like sportsmanship and stuff.
It's called Union 10 here. But all the parents are of course keeping score.
We know who won.
We know who won. And his team just like runs it every single time. I think they had like nine scores. They had nine goals.
Are they the same? I'm sure at that age it's like based on age. So like 8 and under, 7 under.
Yeah, it's 8U is his division. 8U.
Okay.
And the teams are Argentina, which Cash is on, Brazil, Spain, and the USA. And Argentina is just undefeated. I mean, no one can touch us. No one can hold a candle to us.
Why do they have the names of countries instead of like Bobcats and?
Well, the league is called Union 10, and that's just how Union 10 does it. They go off of like, would that be FIFA? Would they go off the FIFA teams?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, they go off the FIFA teams, and I assume those are some of the better ones. Spain, Brazil.
Well, I can tell you that when I used to play FIFA on the PlayStation,
yeah,
you got England is always solid, Brazil is always solid, Argentina. I mean, pretty much all of the well-known South American teams and England, or
yeah,
at least in PlayStation 1 FIFA.
Yeah.
Like I'm not sure how they are in real life, but
England is the only team that's missing. I feel like England should be represented.
yeah,
Maybe that there's some guilt going on there, like, oh, we can't have England over here, but
we won a war for that.
yeah, that's right. No, oh, you reminded me with the worm pain, dude. I might need you to talk me out of this, or either confirm that I'm right or talk me out of this. I'm kind of. I feel like vegetarian is the way to go, just based on causing undue cruelty to animals. Like I've always been, well, not always, since I've learned about factory farming, I've had a real, that turns me off. Like I do not like the way that cows are treated, especially in the big factory farms. I've known about how chickens are treated. I kind of just turned that off in my brain because my family in Arkansas, there was Tyson chicken plants everywhere out there, and that was like the summer job was to go work at a chicken house. And you can smell those things for miles and miles away, chicken houses. But I mean, it is slavery, and I mean, obviously slavery, but it's just torture. You're just torturing these animals, shoving as many of them as you can in a space. They're literally sleeping on top of each other. They're pooping and peeing on top of each other.
And feeding them at rates that's just not natural.
Right.
At least for chickens. I don't know about how they do the beef.
One of the jobs that my family would have is they have this syringe that is connected to this big hose that's going up to the ceiling. And so like it follows them on a track as they go through there. And they just pick up a chicken and jab it with the syringe, and it'll pump the whatever is inside that syringe by CO2. Just psst, they hit a button, it goes psst, and they drop it, pick up another one, psst, drop it, and at least 1 or 2 out of 10 you're killing because you're hitting the spine or you're accidentally jabbing the heart or something. But that's their job, is they have these big rubber gloves, and this was in the 90s and the early 2000s. Maybe they've changed it since then. But they would just pick them up and psst, psst, psst. And like, oh, accidentally got that one spine. Toss it. Or like that's what they're supposed to do, toss it. They tell me they just throw it on the ground and the other chickens would eat it.
Man, that's disgusting.
That's disgusting, and it's just not humane. That's for birds. You find out these big cattle operations, not like not the ones that we saw out in Kansas, or at least not the ones that I saw out in Kansas, where there was plenty of room and they gave them plenty of space and whatever. Uh, but I've seen documentaries on it where it's kind of the same thing. Like they're just packed in as tight as they can. They're pooping on each other. They're pooping and peeing on each other. They're just being force fed. Um, yeah, that mixed with these dang religious boys, the Jesus Way podcast. I've been listening to that a lot. They're all
Mm-hmm.
vegans on there,
Mm-hmm.
and they're really big on the treatment of animals and like what you would do to the least of these. They're like, well, there's no further least of these than animals that have no voice to speak for themselves. And yeah, I don't know. That's just been really weighing on me lately, is causing undue pain and harm to animals. But I love a good cheeseburger.
Mm-hmm.
I love a good steak. And they say the fat, like the real marbly steaks that are supposed to be delicious, those are caused by sick cows. Like they're not supposed to have that much fat into the muscle. That's caused by the feed that they're giving them. They're overfeeding them.
Is
Like
that
in
right?
the fattening up phase,
Mm-hmm.
they're purposely giving them as much fat as they can to make a delicious steak. Well, it works.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever they're doing, it works. I'm kind of thinking, and this is unrealistic, at least in my current predicament. I either want to only eat the protein, as far as animal protein, that I catch, as far as like catching fish out of the bay or hunting. I could hunt birds or hunt deer here.
It's hard to get a tag, but cows are pretty easy to hunt.
Say that again.
It's hard to get a cow tag, but
Uh-huh.
I should say I suspect. Okay, I'm making some assumptions here.
Yeah.
I've never tried to get a cow tag, which I think that's actually what you call. That is what you call some like elk. That would be a
Oh,
cow.
okay,
wouldn't it?
okay, okay.
That's
Yeah.
not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the fucking Angus
A bovine.
down the street.
Yeah, okay.
Your bovine tag is hard to come by, I assume, and I also assume they would be easy to hunt.
Now, yeah, it would be pretty easy to hunt. I shot one of them when I was on the road one time. Um, but yeah, hunting or fishing, or maybe you could just raise some, give them a nice life. You could like have some chickens out in the backyard, which that you could do that too.
Yeah.
Actually, I planned on doing that, and I just haven't
we-
followed through with it.
We did that. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did that. And it wasn't. It was it wasn't a good time. We had 53 chickens. We had ordered, I think, 50, and they gave us some extras in case some of them died or whatever. And a lot of them did die. I think that we ended up processing 23 of the 53 that we had raised, and they died from various causes. They would, when it would
What's
rain.
the price on them whenever you're buying them?
Well, it came up to where if they'd all lived, I was going to be paying about $2.50 for a rotisserie chicken. Is kind of how I had it. That's how I had it. I was doing the math. And as each one would die, I would be like, okay, I'm up to $2.75. Okay, we're paying $3.50. Oh Lord! Now at the end, we were paying like close to $7 or $8 per bird, and that's not counting your time or
Feed.
the effort. That was counting feed,
Okay.
but not like the effort of processing them, which is an ordeal.
Yeah.
But they would die from various causes. It would rain, and they would like look up with their mouths open, and they would drown themselves. We had an owl attack that got several of them. In order to protect them from predators, I set up like barn tin or like corrugated aluminum, around the outside, and they would get themselves trapped between the chicken wire and the tin, to where the owl or hawk or whatever could just come down and just eat them through the
While they're alive and screaming.
yeah. So that was terrible. But the number one way that we lost more from just heart attack,
Really?
and it was because of the, I think we were like 15, it might have been 17, but I think it was 15% protein. And these birds are bred in such a way, and they get fed in such a way where they grow too fast, and their organs can't. They were never supposed. I'm gonna make a statement that I don't really have the authority to make, but that's never stopped me before.
Yeah.
They're bred to make as much meat as quick as possible, and they were just, I don't think that they were ever intended. Nature never intended for them to grow that way. Right. And so you'd go outside and you'd have 3 of them just dead.
Yeah.
And I never did. My old farmer neighbor told me that it was because they had a heart attack. I don't actually know, but because I don't actually know, I didn't feel comfortable cleaning and eating them, because who knows, maybe they got a disease. Who knows? So, yeah, we lost a lot that way. But again, the idea was we wanted to grow or raise at least 50% of our food, and we raised hogs and chickens and all that.
I knew you when you were a hog farmer.
Yeah. And I guess my thought on the matter was, I'm not necessarily opposed to, I wouldn't be a strict vegetarian because I'm not opposed to eating meat, but I am very much opposed to the way animals are treated in factory farms.
Yeah.
And that doesn't stop me from buying fucking 8-pound bag of chicken breast from Walmart. Like,
yeah,
I don't, unless
you
you're
gotta
gonna
eat.
Unless you're gonna do that, raise your own, or you can afford to buy food from a farmer, straight from the farmer. Unless you're gonna do that, I don't know how you. There's no way you can't. You just got to go vegetarian.
Yeah, yeah. But see, the thing is, like I know, but it seems to me that the vegetarian diet doesn't give you the protein that you need. But there's always been vegetarians. So that maybe that doesn't make sense either.
I think I think you could get protein through. Could you get it through vegetables? I mean, beans, I suppose.
I suppose. We obviously we didn't prepare for this recording. What vegetables, or like what is a plant source of protein? Nuts.
These nuts.
These.
Yeah, nuts.
Beans, maybe
lentils, soybeans.
Yeah, but soys give you tits. That's what I hear. You get men get
them
soy tits.
Get them man tits. I'm all right with that.
Okay.
Make it look like at one point I was swole.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, because I'm also not a fan. If you're gonna talk about factory farming, milk and dairy products, I think it's the same story.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, again, I'm not against, even though I heard one time, and it made a lot of sense, that humans weren't designed to, like, this milk is for an animal that's going to grow to be 1,000 pounds. So, like, it's probably not the healthy. I don't know if this is true, but it's what I've heard, and it makes sense to me that maybe.
Well, I've heard anthropologists, that guy Chris Ryan, who I've brought him up before, he says that the domestication of goats happened like thousands of years before the domestication of any sort of bovine, which are mostly wild oxen, and that we like bred them into the modern cow that you see now. But the domestication of goats happened a lot earlier. So goat milk and goat cheese is supposed to be like our body's more adapted to processing that.
Yep.
Have you ever had goat milk?
I've not. No, that's not true. I have, yes, because we raised goats and we
Oh
milked
yeah.
them. Yeah, it tastes pretty good,
Okay.
but it depends. It 100% depends on what they're eating. So if they would get out and there was a specific weed in the field, I don't know what it was, but when I say that it would make it taste goaty,
Yeah.
it would taste like goat. And so
Oh.
it was always just kind of I'm not a big fan of milk anyway, but when your milk might taste like goat, it kind of makes it, makes you just opt for the orange juice instead.
Huh.
Like at least for me, I'm not one to take a risk of I'm either about to drink delicious milk or I'm about to drink milk that tastes like goat.
What does the goat taste?
I mean, it's kind of musky, kind of.
Yeah.
It does have a bit of an odor to it. So like you can at least this whatever they would get into. Again, I don't know what it was, but the weed that they would eat when they got outside of their pasture made it taste kind of funky.
Huh.
I've had goat cheese before, like in tacos or something, and that's pretty delicious.
Yeah, it's
But
okay.
we had several people. We never sold it. And I wish we had. We never got into the like if you're gonna milk them for profit or to if you're gonna make a business out of it, you've got to milk them nonstop. And so going out of town, like they would dry up, or
Yeah.
you'd either have to keep them pregnant or just milk them consistently and don't stop. And that just didn't work with our lifestyle.
And you can sell the kids, right?
Yeah.
The-
Yeah. But several people, like I learned that people who have certain, maybe if they're lactose intolerant or if they've got gut issues, that they can drink goat's milk.
Yeah.
But anyway, the point being, it's just different. And so I don't have an ethical problem with drinking milk from a cow or a goat, but I do have a problem with a cow or a goat being in a cage
Yeah.
with these suckers and just sucking them dry all day.
24/7.
That I can't get with that.
Yeah. I mean, that is as much as you can abuse another living animal. And I understand they don't have the same brain as us, but we don't even understand the human brain enough to know because, yeah, we don't even understand the human brain enough to know like the size of the brain does not automatically equal intelligence. If that were true, giants, 7 feet tall people would be the smartest people that there are. And that's just not saying that that's not the case. I'm just saying that's not the rule. Like basketball players aren't necessarily the smartest people that you know. I'm saying that size does not equal intelligence. So
Yeah.
just because they have a brain smaller than ours doesn't mean, I mean, we just can't communicate with them. They don't have thumbs and we don't speak their language.
Yeah, but the fact that they register pain, I guess I see what you're coming from. So they may not care that another animal is shitting on them in the same way that human would, or
Well,
what do you mean?
No, that's not even what I mean too. Is what I'm saying is like we just put them underneath us. Like humans as a species put all the other animals underneath us because we happen to find ourselves as the masters of this world. Or at least we like to imagine ourselves that really this world would go away if there were no ants or no bees. Then it would change pretty quickly. But since we find ourselves as the smartest kids on the block, able to manipulate the world the most, with nuclear bombs and skyscrapers and paved roads and satellites and all this, that seems to make it okay for us to put these lower animals into a cage. But I think that's just because we can't. We're far removed from it. Here in 2026, we're not processing our own food like our grandparents were, and definitely not their parents. But So just being removed from it that way adds a lot of comfort to it for most people. But even if you are on a farm, if you're a country guy or gal that is on a farm, um, you're not hearing them say, "Hey, I don't like this. Do you have anything else? Can you get air conditioning out here?"
Right.
Um, yeah, because just because we place ourselves over them. Um, I feel like if you could communicate with them, I mean, it would be immoral. I feel like it would be like my heart couldn't handle it if I heard a cow say, "I don't like this. I don't like the way I'm being treated." If I just
Right.
heard a cow say those words, I'm like, "Oh, well, I'm never touching beef again."
Right.
I don't know. I've just been wrestling with that lately.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, I'm not going to talk you out of it or into it because, like, to me it seems like a really shitty excuse. But I do love steak,
Yeah.
and I mean, part of me is like tough shit. Like, just because you love something doesn't make it moral or ethical or acceptable.
Yeah.
I think maybe one of the better, maybe a better argument would be that in this modern age, you just can't get your nutrition. You can't get complete nutrition elsewhere, and I don't know if that's
Yeah.
true or not.
It's not true. Well, it's not necessarily true, but it does take you some rearranging of your time in order to, like, in my mind, I would either have to start growing animals here in my backyard and try to hope my HOA doesn't notice, or I would have to become a real serious hunter and fisherman. Like I would have to go out every weekend. I'd have to fill up some freezers.
Oh, you could take a couple weeks in the winter or whenever
For sure.
and stick it in the freezer. I think
Yeah.
I think that part could be done. But what's interesting, and I think you kind of nailed it on the head, is you would have to be committed enough to do it.
Yeah.
And at least for me, I'm not committed enough. But if you think, like, I don't know, if you really do think that it's immoral or unethical or not something that you like there's a lot of things that you just don't do because it's wrong.
Yeah.
Like, you just don't do it. Take it. If you had to run over geese every morning to get out of the neighborhood this way, or you could go the longer route that way. Well, you're going to go the longer route this way, and it's going to take more time. It's going to take more effort, but you're also not willing to run over these animals over here. So I guess that's what it is. Yeah, if it's important to you, then it's important, and if it's not, it's not.
If you're listening to this, if you're a fan of the Lawless podcast, and you'd like to host Justin and I to go for a hunting experience out, it will be in Kansas or maybe Arkansas or Tennessee or anywhere you happen to be. If you'd like to take us on a hunting trip, I think we'd be open to it. I think
Yes.
yeah.
And here's something that's kind of special that you might not get on. You might not get this on your everyday podcast, even on your big podcast. This is real time contemplation here.
Okay.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm actually processing this as we speak.
For sure.
I'm actually considering the vegan, at least vegetarian, but the vegan lifestyle. Like, I'm talking myself into it as we go here.
I think it is moral. I think the vegan. I think vegan is probably the most moral. Are you snapping? What are you doing?
Can you hear that?
Yeah.
I'm flicking my key.
Oh, okay. I think the vegan is probably the most moral, but I would be okay with harvesting my own protein.
Yeah.
Like, I think that is morally acceptable. I think it kind of always has been, even with when man as a species was most in tune with nature, like in our hunter-gatherer days. I believe like that was okay. It's okay to harvest because it is if you're going on a hunt, if you're hunting elk or hunting deer, even today in 2026, it takes quite a bit of planning. It takes quite a bit of time. It takes a lot of effort. It's not just going down to the grocery store. And it takes some intelligence. Like even sitting in a tree stand, which is the laziest way of hunting, but even sitting in a tree stand and waiting for something to come up to your feeder, those deer are smart. Like most of them only eat at night, and the ones that are willing to eat during the day aren't willing to go out into a field or to a clearing. So you're just getting the dumb ones, kind of the ones that are willing to go out there, which you need to clear
So
them.
that's their own fault, right?
Well, you need to clear them from the gene pool. And so that is, I mean, that kind of goes into Darwin's theory of evolution, survival of the fittest. You're um you're actually helping them as a species by taking out the ones that are willing to go out into the field. Jokingly and actually,
Yeah.
you are actually helping the species by doing that. Not saying that takes away the moral problem of it.
Yeah, but with hunting, I agree with you. I think that there's like that's closest to the natural order of things
Yes,
because other predators, other animals will
are going
hunt
to eat them.
other animals. Like that's a natural order. But you don't have other animals enslaving
Right.
lesser animals or lower on the pole.
The food chain.
Yeah. So that I think that's a valid argument.
Yeah. I think vegan, so I think vegan is probably the most moral, but maybe whatever. I don't know. Maybe stepping away from vegan. I think just gathering your own animal protein is the most righteous thing that I could do right now in my moral contemplation. Maybe grow some chickens, get some eggs. I would love to have like a dozen or so chickens in the backyard where I just collect their eggs every day.
Dude, you wouldn't even need that many.
No?
You would have more eggs than you know what to do with if you had just 4 hens.
Really?
Yeah, because they're eventually now, depending on the time of year, they'll lay more or less, but you're generally going to get at least 4 eggs a day, and from 4 birds, so 1 egg
Yeah.
per hen. And a couple days of not eating eggs, that adds up pretty quick. You got a dozen eggs in just a few days.
Yeah. So you got to be making some omelets, homie.
You're eating a lot of eggs, or selling them or giving them to other people, which we gave a lot of eggs away.
Yeah. I would make the Taj Mahal at chicken houses. I'd make sure it's insulated. I'd make sure it has a nice fan in there, keep the air moving, it's ventilated.
Keep them ladies happy.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd keep them ladies happy. I could have a couple goats. I say this. I have to get my wife to sign on board also. But in my mind, I could have a goat out there. I don't know, you tell me, you're the one with experience. How many goats do you need to keep a jug of milk in the fridge?
Just one. You just need to be milking one because you're going to get probably a quart a day
But she has to be constantly milked
daily.
daily.
Yeah.
So that's going to be cash. Son, go out there and yank on them udders.
Let me give you a cautionary tale on on the expectations of what your kids are going to do on the family farm and the reality of what your kids are going to do on the family farm. There's a wide chasm.
There's a gap in there.
Yeah. Which, to be fair, I may have, by having the kids help me castrate the piglets, that I may have spoiled that whole idea. I'm not sure because
Maybe you shouldn't be castrating piglets.
well, it may be immoral, and certainly the way we did it, they would bounce back really quick, but it wasn't a pretty thing.
Did you don't have to go into this if you don't want to, but did any of them not survive?
No, they all survived. There was one when I was pretty new to it. There was one that I felt horrible, and I really thought that it was going to die. But the whole thing, dude, is so traumatic. Like, it just sucks. Have you ever been around a baby pig?
Yeah.
Have you ever heard?
I mean, at petting zoos and fairs and carnivals and stuff.
Okay. Well, this may be a little different. I don't know, because they squeal, and the reason I say it may be different is if they're used to being handled and messed with, then they probably don't squeal as much. But in the scenario I was working in, they would squeal like this ear piercing. The closest thing I could think of is like a pterodactyl, like this, like a shrieking type of squeal. It's not the cute little oink oink that you see in on the
they say
pull and
pigs
play.
have the brain closest to humans, so pigs are smart animals.
Yeah, well, there's
what I've
something.
heard.
There's something. So you've got that debacle where you've got to, first off, you've got to separate them from mom, and then you've got to separate the males from the females.
How is she doing? How is mom?
She gets real pissed, and she's very protective. A good mom, anyway. A good mom is very protective, and she's probably weighs about 400 pounds. Like, she's a big mama.
She's a tank.
Very strong and pretty destructive. So you have to have a setup to where you're safe. There were a couple times where I was pretty nervous, and I probably should have been more nervous that she was going to get me. Because so you've got that going on. Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. You've got that going on. So you've got to separate them from mom, and that's a deal. And then you've got to separate the boys from the girls, and that's a deal. And then you got to catch these fuckers.
Yeah.
And so
are you using a net, or you're just using your mitt the whole time?
You just gotta try to corner them and dive and get one by the foot and drag it. It's a thing. I had a pretty good setup to where I kind of set myself up for success to where I could put mom outside. Then I had a gap, and then I was behind the barn in an area that I had made, and I would basically just kind of shoo them into the area, shut it, and I could do it that way. But then, so once you catch them, you flip them upside down, and you've got a pretty good scalpel, pretty sharp scalpel, and you can do it by yourself or you can do it with somebody else. Well, the guy that was teaching me how to do it he's in his 80s. He was in his 80s. He's upper 80s now, and he was legally blind. And he was to the point where he couldn't do it anymore, because he couldn't see. He could see shapes and like.
You do it by feel. Oh, there they are.
Well, kind of. He could see light, and he could see like shapes and stuff. But like when you would walk up, he would have to get real close to know who you were. So he's telling me how to do it, and so he's telling me, okay, flip it upside down, and then he kind of feels my hand, and he's like, okay, yep, you need to be a little bit higher. Well, I've got this piglet upside down, and he's facing me, and somehow or another, we confused, like when he said higher to me was different than it was to him. And so I'm cutting this thing, and it's bleeding everywhere. And so the way you did it was you would flip them upside down, you would push on their balls to where you could see them bulging under the skin. You would slit the skin, and then you would pull the testicle out, and then you would snip it, like you would just cut it with the scalpel, and then you would do the other side, cut, push, cut, and then you would drop them, and when you put them down, there would be a void, like from the skin, like you would see through, through the hole, you could see the muscle, like it was just a pocket at that point. Well, they would roll around in the dirt, and I shit you not, there would be no mark in 3 days. You wouldn't know. You wouldn't know that they had been cut. And as soon as you put them down, you wouldn't know that you'd even touched them. They'd give like a little grunt, and then they would go off and do their thing. It was the wildest thing. But anyway, it's a very it can be kind of gross, and every time you cut them, you're going to get a splash of something. I'm not sure what it is.
Sure.
Pretty sure I don't want to know what it is. You'd get squirted, so that sucked. And so I may have ruined my kids' farming potential through that experience. But to be fair, I kind of ruined my own as well.
Yeah,
like I wasn't having any better time than they were. But I just knew you had to do it sooner than later because you're not doing. I know that there are people that will, if you sell a boar, they'll get a group of 4 or 5 guys and tackle them, and they'll castrate it as a boar, as a full grown boar,
as an adult.
But once they get more than probably 2 weeks old, they grow so fast and they get so heavy it's impossible to keep them from squirming, and it gets pretty dangerous, even like for the person holding, the person with the scalpel, and the pig. So you have to do it pretty young.
Well, but I don't in my farm setup that I'm doing right now in my HOA.
That was a long story. I don't remember how we got off on that tangent.
Oh no. Oh, you start talking about the chasm between what you expect the children to do and what they're actually going to do.
So in your HOA farm.
In my HOA farm, maybe pigs aren't going to be part of this.
Probably not.
Although my mom said she had a potbelly pig as a pet when she was young, a Vietnamese potbelly pig, and they got it just to kill the snakes that were in the yard. Like my grandpa got it just to eat the snakes, and it loved snakes. So yeah,
loved its job.
Yeah, we never had a snake after that potbelly pig came there. Chickens, a goat for milk. I'm thinking of something. I can't put a cow back there. Maybe maybe another. How about a mommy and a daddy goat? I have the goat.
What about rabbits?
Oh, there you go.
You could do rabbits.
You do some rabbits. Have you raised rabbits before?
No.
I've seen like cages full. I don't want to create just factory farming on a smaller scale in my backyard. Like just shove as many rabbits. But I've seen a bunch of rabbits in a cage, and they seem to be doing okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm thinking of a protein source.
Yeah.
But
you can actually eat. You can eat goats too. I've never eaten goat, but yeah, I mean it's common around the world
for sure. That's what I was thinking of. The mommy and the daddy goat is just that, but I don't want to kill. Yeah, I'm kind of getting back into that same thing of needlessly killing another thing when I don't really have to. That's the thing, is I don't have to do any of this. I could just be vegetarian.
Right.
I'm going way out of my way.
But again, the natural order of things is not to be a vegetarian.
Right. But yeah. But in the hunter-gatherer days, there were societies that were more gatherer than hunter, and others that were more hunter than gatherer. Yeah, I was going to say they weren't really raising their own crops, but that's not true. They were raising their own crops. That's how we have crops today, is over thousands of years of evolution of domesticating wild plant species.
Well, this is really out there, and I'm not sure that it's worth considering. I don't know. I wonder if you could make a correlation to treating the earth like if you were to plow a field or clear out an area, could you make an argument that that's as immoral as factory farming is immoral as factory
agriculture?
Chicken? Yeah.
Oh, well, I don't. Yeah, definitely.
If you look at the earth as a living thing,
yeah.
Like one of the things that this makes me, I don't know. I hope I don't sound like I'm.
No, you're welcome here. You're in a safe place.
Well, I hope these are just thoughts that I have. I do not live this lifestyle. I had hot dogs, yesterday and chicken strips today. Like I'm just thinking. But one of the things that I've thought is that worm or that chicken or that whatever is just as much nature as I am.
Yes.
And so earth is just as much nature as that worm or chicken or whatever. So I don't know. Like I guess you have to.
You're definitely disrupting the ecosystem, especially when you start clearing out a big piece of land to grow a monocrop. And when the seed for the, you have to douse, you have to saturate that land in all sorts of chemicals and nitrogen and other fertilizers and pesticides to just to make it fertile enough and ready enough to grow your seed. And then some big corporation owns the rights to this seed
Yeah, I mean it gets gross real fast.
real quick.
But apart from that, like if you could scale back, I guess then you'd be in the same you'd be in the same scenario of if you've got a couple acres that you are personally growing, you're probably not, maybe you are, but probably not spraying the
Yeah, I wouldn't.
pesticide and the all the chemicals and all of the stuff.
I know there's a really cool channel on YouTube called Epic Gardening, and he's done it a few different ways, but you can turn a backyard into a self-sustaining grocery store pretty quick. Like just with the
Oh,
type with the
what
types of crops that you grow.
do you remember his name?
Excuse me, right when you asked me that, I swallowed some spit. I used to know it. No, I don't have
I
it on the top
think
of my head. Have you met
I
him?
think no.
He's a tall brunette guy from he lives in San Diego.
Um,
His
I
co-host
think
is a guy
he
named Jacques.
I think he was actually. I think he's been on a couple times. Actually, you might have even turned me on to the episode on Joe Rogan. We may have talked about
Oh,
this,
I don't know.
where he basically his deal. He's got a lot of videos. Um, basically, he teaches people how to be self sufficient
That's a
in
different
small
guy,
areas.
but I like him.
Do you know who I'm talking about?
Yeah, that's a different guy from Georgia.
Joel Howerton or Halla. Jo-
No, I know what you're talking about.
Pretty sure it's Joel something.
Salatin.
Salatin. Yeah.
Joel Salatin farming method. Yeah, all self-sustaining, and he has a big farm. He has like hundreds of acres that he does it without pesticides, without those corporate-owned seeds and whatnot.
Yeah. Because then you kind of start, well, not kind of, you definitely start getting into like not even the morality of it. You start getting into the poison
Yeah,
and just the stuff that you're putting in your body that our bodies were never made for,
for sure.
but even more than that, like it's just straight up harmful.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Um, I think so. Yeah, Joel Salatin. Now that you mentioned him, I remember the stuff that he's teaching, and I was gonna say preaching. He's not preaching anything, but the stuff that he's teaching. Um, I could, I could, I could definitely treat chickens ethically. Like in my mind, I could treat chickens nice, and just collect their eggs and harvest the ones that are older in age. You know what I mean? Give them a quick, painless death.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, with I think I could get milk from goats. The only thing is meat, and maybe I should dedicate a couple weeks into the winter. Dude, I know for a fact I could make a phone call and get a hunting trip scheduled in Kansas. Like right now, I could get on the phone and
Hmm.
get some hunting scheduled in Kansas and get a go out there in February or it's January. They have 1 week. They have an antlerless week in January where I mean it's antlerless. You can harvest anything without antlers. And you can fill up a freezer pretty quick. You get like 5 tags, I think 3 to 5 tags. And
Hmm.
dude, 80 to 100 pounds of meat.
Yep. Yeah, I don't think it's impossible. I guess it just takes enough conviction to do it.
Yeah. I think that may be more I think that might be the moral way to live. I mean, if you want to get real with it, you know what I mean? If you want to practice what you preach.
Yeah. But something that I was going to say earlier, we're talking a lot about morality
Yeah.
for a couple guys who, I don't know, have at least have a different. I was about to say moral code. I don't think that's true. A different moral basis. But I still think that I do think that there are natural moral laws that don't have to come from the God of the Bible or the God of the Quran or I don't think that it has to come from. You don't have to have that God to have morality, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. And even when we were kids, they would say the Holy Spirit teaches everyone right and wrong. Like I heard that a lot. Like people know what's right and wrong because God wrote it on the heart of every man. Um, I think we're just using words to describe the same thing. We're using different words to describe the same thing. But I think the universe has put on to everyone what right and wrong is. Like
at least to a degree. I mean, I guess
for sure there are some exceptions.
Well, and we can pretty easily, when we're doing the thing,
we can justify it. Everybody justifies everything that they do.
Yeah, I think that there has to be a level of justification, even for the most heinous things.
Yeah.
But at least as a general rule, it seems like there's a consensus of I don't know if that's true or not. It may just be a consensus of our culture.
Yeah. Well, that's, I mean, that whole thing is what Socrates talked about of what virtue is, of like wisdom, courage, justice, temperance. You could rename that as like the fruits of the spirit or whatever. But he was talking to young leaders is one of the reasons they killed him of corrupting the youth of Athens. But he would talk to like young people that were coming up in like socially predominant families or like kids of generals and kids of senators or whatever. These rich nobles is what they would have been called, and be like, hey, can you tell me about what right and wrong is? And oftentimes it would come up with something along the lines of like, might makes right. They would say it in an elegant way, but it's usually whoever has the power is the one who determines what's right or wrong.
Yeah.
Or they'd come up with they they would come up with all sorts of different explanations of what right and wrong is. But what he found was very few people actually spend a lot of mental calories on what right and wrong is. They get it from someone else, and it's always boiled down to like either this is the way it's always been, or this is the way it's given to me, or this is my right as the rich person, as the general, or as the leader. They're the ones who determine what's right and wrong. Not a lot of people actually spend a whole lot of time thinking about what right and wrong actually is, what virtue actually is. Yeah. So just having this conversation is kind of a step outside. You say we say that people were born with this, but maybe not. Maybe people are just born into whatever framework they happen to be born into, and they adopt the rules of whatever framework that they're in.
Yeah.
It takes a little bit. It definitely takes. It's like taking a step back and examining your spiritual tradition or your political affiliations or whatever. Like my daddy was this political party and my mama was this political party, so it just makes sense that I'm this political party. And you come up with all these things of like libtards, MAGA, what just to diminish the other side. But taking a look in the mirror is tough.
For sure. Because I think we all think, well, okay, yeah, so I did grow up in this, but I would have chosen it even if I hadn't, because it just makes sense. It's just common sense.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's common sense because it matches everything that we were taught growing up.
Right. Yeah. Do you think if people spent more time thinking about where their food comes from, um, and like honestly, not just saying like, oh, that's the way it is, what can you do? But like actually having this conversation, not just once, but like more than once, I guess, like on a repeated basis with people who that you care about what they think. Do you think that our dietary habits would change?
I think that certainly without trying to, I'm not trying to call anybody out or anything like that. Because everybody's trying to survive, everybody's trying to live their life, everyone's trying to feed their family and pay their bills. I get it, but I think that the vast majority of people, we just don't think about this kind of stuff. And if we did, I think if you were, and it could go even deeper than that. It could apply to war, it could apply to politics, it could apply to any number of things. That if you could just get somebody's attention, or if somebody could get my attention and just say, this is what this is. How do you feel about that? Or what do you think about that?
Yeah.
And I think that hopefully we would find ourselves saying, I never thought about that.
Yeah.
I've never considered that that's what's actually happening, or that I'm not okay. Like if you could see, just like you said, if you could hear the cow, if you could see what's happening, and again, I'm talking to me, if I could see what's happening, I think there's a lot of stuff that I would reconsider. And I think that's true for all of us.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know where I think we've seen that as a culture, definitely in my lifetime, but even like in our kids' lifetimes, like over the last 20 years, the nation's attitude toward war has drastically changed. Drastically changed. Because when I joined the military in 2003, and like my generation, that GWAT generation, we had we only celebrated like the heroic aspects of war. We only
Yeah.
it was only the heroes, only the good stuff, and their sacrifice and their patriotism and yada yada. Um, then we spend 20 years in the global war on terror, and there's a suicide every 20 minutes killing themselves. The vast majority of homelessness, like I think 40, or maybe not majority, but a giant percentage of homelessness, of the homeless population, is veterans or tied to veterans. Addiction, the same thing. There's all these paths where just the cost of war, the normally untold cost of war, has been in our face over the last 20 years. And now we're seeing in real time on our phone, on Instagram, girls' schools getting blown up in Iran. We're seeing folks in Gaza, snipers taking pop shots at them as they're going out to these food caches that have been dropped off. We do not like war. And I think it's there, that has been a sort of a great awakening. And it's kind of undeniable, and it's definitely unescapable for anyone who's conscious about it. If that was applied, and I think in some ways it has been, it's definitely been applied to spirituality, not at that same scale, but like the deconstruction genre is huge right now. The alternative paths is huge right now. Maybe, yeah, yeah. I would say, kind of to answer my own question, I think that if we were having this conversation about food, I think people's attitudes would largely change, or definitely deviate from where it is right now.
Yeah, I think so. Especially if they were thoughtful conversations. If you could get somebody to step away from
Assumptions.
their belief structure,
Yeah.
and just be willing to actually consider. There are still, I think there are still people that would say things like, "Well, yeah, but their national slogan is Death to America," or "Yeah, but what's the cost of Iran getting a nuclear weapon?" Or like you can. There are still people that are just going to refuse to listen or refuse to look. But if you could just look and have an honest conversation.
Yeah.
I know we talked about him if not the last episode, then it was the one before that. But Jesse Wells has a great line in one of his songs that says, "If you can't see the bodies, they don't bloat when they rot."
Yeah.
And I think that's it. Is if we just don't look at things, if we put the blinders up, we can ignore the cost of it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think war and politics is a great example of that.
That I mean, when you said that, that applies to definitely to war, but it also kind of applies to factory farming. And
Yeah, for sure.
yeah,
Because they're just getting, they die on the floor and they're just
yeah,
trampled and eaten and ground into something that gets sprayed off the.
whatever. I don't think about that.
Yep.
I don't see it. I mean, most people have no idea that even happens, but even the people, I don't know, I assume that the people who even are aware that happens, they just they don't give it the attention. They don't give it any attention because, oh, whatever, I got other things going on. I got life going on. That's
Well,
why
again,
I don't think we're beaten up. We're not trying to browbeat anyone.
no, because like I said, I've got a package of frozen chicken from Walmart,
Yeah.
and I am aware of it.
Yeah.
So there definitely comes a point where it's just like, I was going to say, what are you going to do? But you already know what you're going to do. If the conviction is strong enough, then you just don't buy factory chicken. It's pretty simple.
I think I'm gonna have to. I think just Clayton, not even Justin, and definitely not the listener, and certainly not the people who aren't even part of this. But I think I'm going to have to make some changes. I think I'm going to have to make some changes. I'm not. I don't think cutting out meat has to be a part of that, but I want to source my own animal protein. Yeah, I want to. I just at least want to start sourcing my own animal protein, or get on that path. Like maybe a certain percentage of it. Start with a certain percentage of it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it could start with something as simple as getting your eggs from the farmer's market.
The farmer's market.
Or whatever.
I know,
Yeah, just start at a farmer's market.
We did buy some steaks. There's a local ranch down here in the county I live in that has. We bought some steaks from there before, and it's all grass fed, pasture raised.
Yeah.
They have a good life.
One thing for sure is that it's really expensive.
It is,
and that's a big. I think that's a big hindrance, but probably one of the next to just sheer ignorance. The cost is the second factor, second biggest factor into why we're still buying factory food.
Well, people can barely afford
We can barely afford the government food.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. Have you heard anything about aliens recently?
I've heard. So I knew that there was disclosure coming.
I mean, I think we put a pretty good pin in that, right? We beat that horse to death just now. we're good to move off of that.
Probably, yeah. I'm disappointed in how little I've heard.
Okay.
Because I knew that there was supposed to be disclosure coming, and to be honest, I don't even know what was promised or anything like that. But I believed that the truth was coming, or the information was coming, and I just haven't.
Definitely not the truth, but some information.
Yeah, that's a fair point. I've been disappointed in how little I've heard. Or have they just not released it, or am I just not in the right places?
Well, it's almost feels like Epstein files again, like 2023 promises of Epstein files. Like, we have it and we're gonna release it. That with JFK and Martin Luther King and all this other stuff that they promised they were going to release as soon as the election went their way. And also, let me preface this with, it all feels like just another distraction. Everything is a distraction from the last distraction. Recently, Trump was Trump was questioned about UFO release, about UFO disclosure and alien disclosure, and it was something happening. It was something happening like around that last assassination attempt. I think officially assassination attempt number three, even though it might be number four.
Was there actually an attempt, or was it just shots fired? Like was did
Well,
he?
now they're saying he didn't even discharge his gun. Now they're saying that the Secret Service agent that took a because there was a Secret Service agent that took a shotgun blast to the chest,
Oh
but they're
damn!
saying that might have been friendly fire. They're saying that might have been like someone trying to turn on the would-be gunman and letting them
Oh
loose on
shit!
their partner.
God damn! Did he survive? I hope.
Yeah, he
Okay.
survived with light wounds. But yeah, that was the latest thing is they're saying forensics is proven preliminary forensics is proving that he didn't even discharge his gun. So they're like, well, then who shot that Secret Service agent? I mean, ugh, might have been another Secret Service agent.
Okay.
um, so it was conveniently a member of the press during questions about the assassination attempt asked Trump about UFO disclosure and UAP and alien disclosure. And he said, well, it's going to be a lot of information coming out very soon. People are going to be very
The
surprised by
best
it.
the best information.
Yeah, I'm the only one who's ever going to disclose. Um, but yeah, Trump has recently promised some more disclosure. Uh, Tim Burchett, who was on oh, I can't remember his name. George Santos. George Santos, the former Republican congressman from New York, I believe, was one of the first openly homosexual Republicans. He got arrested and served some time over some fraud and money stuff. Was like, I guess, stealing and misappropriating money. Um,
As you do.
as you do, as one does. He has since been pardoned, I believe, and has a podcast. Tim Burchett, the Tennessee representative, was on there, and he's always been kind of a voice for disclosure. He's the
Yeah.
one who talked about the water bases. We got five known species, maybe seven. So we know three of them are living underneath the oceans. He was talking about the upcoming disclosure, and he says, "quote It's going to be indigestible." He said the information that's coming out, people aren't even going to be able to comprehend. It's going to be indigestible. He said this is going to disrupt everything. That's what Tim Burchett says.
Recently, like
Recent
of what's supposed to be coming.
of what's supposed to be coming out soon.
Okay.
He's referencing the stuff that Trump says is going to be coming out pretty soon.
Okay.
I was just oh, Stephen Greer. Have you heard of Stephen Greer? He's a former surgeon or psychologist.
I
I
don't
think
think so.
he's a former psychologist. He's big in the UFO world. He came out recently saying that there's going to be a fake. He says it's all gonna be fake. They're gonna present this thing and it's not gonna be what they say. It's gonna all gonna be a distraction. He says that there's going to be an alien invasion soon. Like there's somehow going to portray that there are these that aliens are going to try to violently come in or they're going to do something to disrupt and the might of the US is going to stop it.
We'll deliver them all.
We'll deliver them all. He says that's going to be happening soon and it's going to be fake. He says they're planning it, it's going to be fake.
Now, what is he? Why? What does he base that on? Like, how does he? How does he know?
So Greer is a guy, like I said, he's been into the UFO, UAP, alien world for a
Okay.
while. He's like a social media figure, and he's been the one talking about. He's been one of the ones talking about this for a while, and he says based on his sources,
Okay.
like his inside
Okay.
sources that he's got, they're planning this thing, and they're planning it as another distraction. I was thinking about this, and it's such a bummer because I want real information. I want I want them to give me the alien files, just like I want them to give me the Epstein and whatever. But it's to the point now where anything that's coming through official channels, I'm going to assume is bullshit.
Dude, it's almost like you can trust Instagram and TikTok quicker than you can trust what's coming through official channels.
Yeah.
And I think I've mentioned that before, that even like, especially, well, not especially, but pertaining to like the Epstein list, how are you can't trust anything at all.
No, because they're investigating themselves. They
Right.
are the ones. They're
Right.
the ones who are in this list.
So with the UFO stuff, how are you how are you supposed to believe what the White House releases compared to, what TikTok or Instagram,
Right.
post you're looking at?
And it doesn't feel like it absolutely is another distraction. It's just another distraction from the failing war in Iran and the Straits of Hormuz that are only closed because of this war in Iran. Like now we're fighting the war. Uh, like the idea is that we're fighting this war to reopen the Straits of Hormuz. Well, they wouldn't be closed if you didn't start bombing them in the first place.
Right.
Iran feels like one of the many distractions from the Epstein list. Like people were getting real hard on the Epstein list and people were getting subpoenaed and testifying before committees. Then all of a sudden, boom, we got Iran going.
Yep.
It's all just another distraction from the absolute shit show that is going on. What I was saying is I want there to be aliens. I want there to be UFOs. I don't know if I'd say I want to be abducted, but I'd like to meet someone.
I wouldn't mind.
At this
I'd
point,
love
you know what? The kids
I'd
are
love to make
grown.
it I'd love to make it back. Like if you
Yeah.
can bring me back home, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
But
Don't leave any scars.
what else? Yeah. Let's see what else is out there.
I I want to know the truth. That's the thing is I want to know the truth. And I feel like the official channels that everything's coming from is just so corrupted. And
Yeah.
the veil has been pulled back, just like the veil on kind of like the veil on factory farming, but certainly the veil on the military industrial complex has been pulled back so far to where if the Pentagon is telling me something about the war, I know you're just telling me what you want me to hear.
Yeah.
Same thing with the White House. Whatever the White House tells me, I was like, okay, you're just telling me what you want me to hear.
Yeah. With potentially no basis, probably no basis in truth.
How can we know? We have to
Yeah.
just trust them? Yes, because you're so trustworthy.
But so has anything been released about the UFOs? Or they're just saying it's gonna be.
It's gonna be. It's coming.
Dang
It's
it.
coming. Yeah.
I want it to come sooner.
Yeah. Don't we all?
Have you heard any speculation or like I
The
know
speculation is that there's going to be is that there's going to be a simulated invasion. That's the speculation.
well, so
I
when Tim Burchett says that it will
going to
unglue
be-
the fabric of society, like what could he possibly be talking about?
You know, you got to assume it's going to be something to do with like religion because here's a story that I've heard from a couple different podcasters, but it's come from a couple different sources. They cite their sources that um Bush Jr. back in the early 2000s pulled together a couple of like sociologists from like Harvard and MIT and these big universities and institutions pulled together some like sociologists, anthropologists, these people who know or who study how humans react to information. And what was presented them with them was like the scenario was there are aliens, like we know they've been here forever, or they've been in whatever, coming and going. How would humans react? And would it be eventually a net positive or a negative if people knew the truth about this? And I guess they spent like a year studying this and came to came to the conclusion that like modern religion or like these religious institutions would be affected by it greatly. Um, Technology, so like where the microwave came from, where styrofoam came from, all these big advancements that happened in like the 50s after 1947, after the crash in Roswell. Um, Maybe that was 46. I don't know. But all the advancements that came after the first UFO stuff, that would start to be questioned. All of like, I guess like nuclear weapons, that would be questioned, something along those lines. The history, like the humans' history on Earth, they say that would have been questioned, like it would change the timelines on how long we've been here, how long we've been a sentient being, something along the lines of like rise and fall of civilizations before us. And so they came to the this is the story is that they came to the conclusion during Bush Jr.'s administration that this is just too big to release. We're going to keep it quiet. We're going to keep the lid on this. I think that that's what Burchett is alluding to. Like
Okay.
this is going to undo the fabric of society. He's talking about religion, technology, our understanding of the history of ourselves, things like that.
Okay. I don't see that as. I guess I can get where he's coming from, but
Yeah.
that's not going to cause riots in the street. You know, that's not going to cause
No.
anarchy or anything like that. That's not going to make the institutions fall.
I think a lot of people don't care.
No.
I think a lot of people don't care. And if there's anything that I've seen more than anything else recently is that people can be presented with information in their face. Like you can hold up information right here, be like, "Hey, look, what you're saying is wrong. Look at this right here. Here's photo evidence of what you're saying is wrong." But people have an uncanny skill of saying, "No, don't believe it."
Looks like me. Not me.
Looks like me, not me. Yeah. So even after this big fake disclosure that's might or probably not going to happen, um, I still think people would just be like, okay, well, I still can't afford gas. Okay,
Yeah,
well,
right. Yeah, are they gonna lower the cost of oil or
yeah, yeah,
well, I mean, yeah, I still want to know the truth or at least as close to the truth as we can get.
yeah.
I think to me it would be fascinating to find out what else is out there or here or how
Where we
long or
come
if
from.
we interact or yeah, if all of that.
Yeah. I want to. I don't think we're going to get to it. I'm pretty certain nothing's going to happen.
Well, that's disappointing.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Turns out we're all still responsible for our own lives.
Shit,
And what,
I still got to pay taxes.
yeah, yeah.
I got to I saw a post around tax day that said, "Don't forget something to the effect of don't forget to pay your fraud and pedophile ring fees, or
Yeah.
something like that."
Yeah, for
Um,
sure. We all got to pay our dues.
well, we're a little bit over 2 hours. You got anything else that you want to rap about?
No, no, I think the we didn't have anything planned. Last week's recording, I really dug.
Yeah, me
Um,
too.
it's gonna be uploaded probably either tonight or tomorrow. Tomorrow, it was the conversation on hell and like our deep dive into it, just on how we feel, about the subject and our experience with it. Today was just a hang, which I think we needed. Next one, I want to get back on either have another Garbage Boys, which I think we're kind of due for a Garbage Boys, and I want to get back onto a specific subject again soon. We can
Okay.
figure out what that subject's going to be.
Would love some interaction if somebody's got a subject they'd like to hear us talk
Yeah,
about.
yeah. If you got a suggestion, we can do that. Best way to contact us is at podcastlawless@gmail.com. You can put a comment on any of our socials. Make sure you like, heart, share, subscribe, do all the things. And yeah, we're gonna keep on going, bebop and rock steady.
Very cool. All right. Well, I'm gonna go reconsider my grocery list.
Yeah, dude. I think you should. I think
All
I
right.
should. I don't. Yeah. All
All
right.
right. Later, homeboy.
Later.